Hi, I figured it was time to answer the questions that made me think and have to analyze things a little bit more. I really loved every question that everybody asked. The problem was that I was a little lazy. And some of you asked some really amazing questions that I just did not get time to do. Plus, I wanted to pretend that I'm funny, so I had to do the funnier ones, and I'm sorry. So I'll be getting in this video to at least a couple of the other ones. I just don't know how long I'm going to talk, so I don't know how many I'm going to, cover without everybody wanting to roll around and make me shut up. Although I guess you could just turn this video off, which is really convenient, I think. I think most people in my life would love to be able to do that. I just realized I left my iTunes on. So I guess the unofficial soundtrack of this video is going to be Childish Gambino's Camp album. But, that's cool. That just means that I'll probably be stopping every once in a while to jam out for a second. I'm really sorry. I think I'm just gonna wait a couple seconds because, the best part is coming up. Here we go. I'm sorry, that's pretty much what I listen to every morning so I can wake myself up. And plus, Donald Glover is fucking amazing. So anybody who doesn't already listen to Childish Gambino should definitely go listen to it. But I have to put a caveat on here. There's a lot of curse words, so if you have a very sensitive ear, don't listen to it. Also, there's some triggering things in there, so if you shouldn't listen to it if you can get triggered pretty easily. But he's pretty much amazing. He talks about a lot of things that I extremely care about, especially racial prejudice. So, and if you like rap, then you would definitely love the shit out of him. Okay, so first question I'm going to talk about 2 minutes in. I'm doing a great job on time. My love PinkiePieTyFace asked, we talked in class today about how we have become an overly medicalized society where every little problem is deemed deviant and in need of medical attention. I guess my question is, why do you think that this is? How have we let society tell us that we cannot control our own bodies and need other people with degrees to tell us what's wrong? Why do we trust them? So I actually typed out an answer to this. Let me look over my notes to make sure that I cover everything that I think is extremely important. I want to make sure that I say that, especially with this question, I'm not particularly knowledgeable in the topic, so anything that I say is just speculation and should not be taken very seriously, but hopefully I say something that makes some vague amount of sense. Okay, so that's right, that's what I was saying on my computer. So, this question makes sense to me from an anthropological standpoint. From what that I've seen, especially early humans and their predecessors, they were extremely susceptible to disease, obviously, and as people intermingled, different diseases were experienced. From what I've seen, the way that countries, or not even countries at that point, but geographical locations that people lived in, they would get different diseases exposed to them, and so as it would go through the population, we would get different ways of fighting that. But then, when you met somebody, let's say you were in Europe, and then you came across a bunch of people from Asia, the people from Asia would then start contracting the European diseases, and so a bunch of bullshit happened because of that, which we can see in history very well. The other thing is that these diseases were extremely damaging when we didn't have medication. A toothache could be symptomatic of something just any kind of, what is this word that I'm looking for? Infection. Any kind of infection would, kill you extremely quickly. So I think that that's part of our psychological that's in our brain, is that the minute some kind of disease happens, our brain reacts really quickly to it because we think, okay, I'm about to die. So when you look at that, and then you look at, in just the last couple hundred years, the extreme advancements that humanity has come up with to fight disease, I think psychologically it makes sense that humans would go from, I'm extremely worried for my health to, and and now that I can save it, I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that I don't die. I think I'm not alone in noticing that humankind is extremely worried about dying. Maybe more than they should be, because I think that it kind of makes people go a little crazy sometimes. But, it's what happens. So, to me, I think it makes sense. I think our species is pretty fragile, and we kind of need to get over our fear of dying. Why do we trust people that have degrees? Well, I trust people to a certain degree who have degrees, especially in the field of science. I've said it a billion times, and I will say it a billion more times. What I love about science is that it's not just one person's opinion. That's why you shouldn't take my opinion very seriously until it can be checked and verified by other people. And also what I love about science is that it's verifiable, and so when you have these new ways of dealing with things, new medications, they get tested, they go through a lot of rigorous just trials and errors, and then they find out, what could possibly happen. And it's not just one person, it's a bunch of people, so that we can take some amount of statistics and say, well, here you go, this is what can probably happen. So that's why I tend to trust people who have degrees, especially if they've put in enough effort to go through years and years and years of schooling to be a physician or work in the medical field. Then I kind of trust that they know a little bit more than I do, because I don't have the time to look up, the chemical composition of different pharmaceuticals and how they could affect the brain. I have other things that I need to focus on, especially in school. So people who do know that, people who study that in school, I trust them. Now, as a caveat, clearly not all doctors should be trusted all the time. That's why I think second opinions are okay. But in general, I do tend to trust people like that, and I think that they should be trusted to a certain degree. Anybody who has an advanced degree, again, they've put in so much effort, and they have a lot more specialized information than the average layperson has. So, I think basically this is a lot of the ways that our biology has affected our brains, I think, and how that brain turns into behavior, which is what I study. So, blah 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 blah. This is what makes sense to me. And I'm already at 7.5 minutes, which is probably why I cut up the other videos. I think I'll stop this one and then start another one. I'm sure everybody's excited to hear me talk for like 12 more minutes. Alright.